Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a Sunday reset video. I really want to get better at time management, so I'm bringing you guys along for all the things that I have learned, all the things that I'm trying out to implement. These are all strategies that I'm testing out to improve my work-life balance as well as my productivity. So if you guys are interested in those topics, feel free to hang out with me to see how I'm approaching all of this. Also, before I get started, I need to show you the cutest stamps ever. SpongeBob stamps! Look how adorable that is. I had to order them online because my local post office did not have them. They are so cute and colorful. Oh my gosh, wait a second. The bubbles on here are like slightly 3D. Do you see that? Same with the eyes. What a fun touch. That is so cool. I've never seen stamps do that. Ooh. Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, and we are going to do our first Sunday reset on this channel. I love the idea of setting yourself up for success for the new week, and I feel like adding little goals and incentives for yourself might make things feel more goal-oriented, gamified, and exciting. So I'm gonna use my Trying My Best habit tracker notepad from Gem & Cozy. Kudos to Safi for adding a little flair to this corner. And I am writing out all my habits here and then tracking it throughout the week. So since it's Sunday, it's perfect to start tomorrow. And I did this last week so that I could start figuring out what habits I wanted to focus on and get a better idea of how I'm doing in certain areas of my life that I'm trying to improve on. So over the past 2 months, I started doing a morning walk every single day, and that's been going really well. So now that the morning walks are a steady habit, I want to go into the next phase of building a better workout routine and add working out 3 times a week. So because I know what kind of person I am, I know that setting a really specific workout is not going to work for me, and setting dates normally doesn't work for me. But if I say I need to fill in at least 3 out of 7 days, I feel like I have the flexibility. So I'm going to try it out that way. Something that might work for someone else is not going to necessarily work for you. So you have to keep adapting things based on what you notice about yourself. So I'm going to test it out this way and go from there. I also noticed that I haven't been physically reading as much as listening to audiobooks, and I have several books that I have been wanting to read, and just sitting to read has been hard for me. So I'm gonna add that to my list. This is not a hard goal, but it's just there as a reminder for me so that if I look at this, I can think back on if I did any physical reading. Another thing that I noticed about myself is that if I have too many goals, it's overwhelming. So I'm really just focusing on my health and wellness lately, and these 2 will be good to track this week. And next week I might change it up and add something food-based because I have to adjust my diet due to some health reasons. I'm still figuring that out, but gut issues is really hard, so there's a lot of foods that I am limited to, and trying to figure out how to adapt my diet so that I eat enough of the right things. So now that this is done, let's move on. So I had a no social media day yesterday, and it is the first time I trialed out this new idea of turning Saturdays into a day without access to short form videos. And oh my gosh, guys, the day felt so long. As a person who has to use social media for work, like as a content creator and a small business that markets my business on social media, I am chronically online, and I felt like I was starting to feel addicted, like in a really, really bad way. So I decided, why don't I try out this idea of not using Instagram and TikTok just one day out of the week and see how that goes. And wow, I got so much done. The first thing that I do when I wake up is typically grab my phone. I end up scrolling on Instagram and checking my likes and comments. It's just such a bad habit that I have. So I definitely noticed how many times I was browsing through my phone to access something else, do something else, and then want to casually press on Instagram. It was crazy. It would often happen when I was checking a text or checking my email or something else on my phone, and then I would just inadvertently want to click one of the social media icons. But I noticed once I started doing other tasks like drawing and sewing, I got really engrossed in those activities and kind of forgot about my phone altogether. I had a few sewing projects that I had been holding off, which were mostly alterations and fixing little things. I also really needed focused drawing time for my monthly stationery club. So not only did I finish all of that, but it was still early in the day every time I checked my watch. So I felt bored, which I think is a really good sign. I got to listen to an audiobook while I was doing all of these seated tasks, and then I decided for that mid-afternoon slump that I should just work out because I actually had the time to do it when you're not like on your phone constantly. And it was really nice because you know how a lot of people will say like I squeezed that into my schedule? There was no squeezing of anything. I had the whole day to just catch up on whatever I wanted to do as long as it didn't involve me scrolling on social media. Since this is the first time I'm trying this out, I didn't really flush this page out and space it up in a way that makes sense now that I think about it, but I think just getting down all my thoughts is a good starting point. So the idea behind this is to think about what worked for you last week, what didn't, and what you may want to change. But since I didn't set this up last week, I don't really have a metric to follow and compare. So for today, I just jotted down everything that's been on my mind, things that I have already started making changes in, and also things that I would like to make changes in. So it's kind of just to get all my ideas out, and I included everything from my business and my personal life. So much of this is all kind of overlapping in my life. I feel like my work schedule highly affects my exercise routines, and my ability to grocery shop and meal prep would affect how well I eat throughout a work week. So it all kind of plays hand in hand. So that's how I'm going to start off for now. If you guys want to do something similar, you can split up your page into 3 sections and even use like sticky notes if you want to have what worked, what didn't, and changes or however you'd like to do. I figured that I could actually go back to this next week and check off anything that I felt like I got to work on or I felt that worked. So that is another way to use the checklist system as well. I am a super schedule-based person, but ever since I started working for myself, I have just sort of made my own hours. So I tested out formatting an entire schedule for the week to break up drawing time, research time, organization, cleanup time, inventory stuff, and then packing time in blue, as well as admin time. So I want to see how setting up designated time slots for committed goals will work for me. I used to be like a heavy planner user, especially throughout college. I felt like I would have been lost without a written schedule. And then I switched to my Google Calendar once I worked in healthcare because all my appointments with my clients were 30-minute and 1-hour slots. So it looked just like this, except it was like people's names. And I never figured out a good way to move my organizational skills like this to my current work. I just felt like I didn't want to force myself to have to draw at designated times or pack at designated times, but lately I feel like I really need the structure, and this isn't to cage me in. So if I end up doing more admin work because I have it and then I have less packing time, that's fine, but I feel like visually seeing it like this may help me recognize how I'm using my time, and then I can adjust it throughout the weeks depending on my workflow and what I feel like I need more time in or less time in. I also put in the workout slots in the morning for 3 days a week just to see how that's going to pan out. And then my morning walk is up here, which is usually around 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I am really excited to see how this goes. I kind of feel excited to see what the flow is going to be like. And I also turned my Friday into mostly a content creation day. I have to make so many videos and do a lot of voiceovers and editing and research on how to post my content. For the most part, I feel like it comes very naturally to me, but I also realize that I may be making too much of the same kind of content, or I may be recording content that I just don't end up using. So I have a lot of videos that I recorded but never edited and posted on my phone. So I really want a better way to systematically have a bunch of content made at once and make sure I'm cleaning out my phone in the process, because I have so many videos that get lost and I'm like, did I post this? Did I forget to edit this? I can't even remember. So I think that might be helpful. And I also built in some research time for brainstorming, which I usually don't do, but maybe that would actually help me kind of guide me as to what I want to create and post. I'm gonna keep talking about all my organization stuff while I unbox these sticky notes and quality check. Another thing I'm really excited about is that I set aside organization time on this new schedule, which I have never done. I have always been a super organized person, but I am telling you, once you have a gazillion things coming to you every week for inventory, like boxes of products, and you're packing orders and doing art and inventory and everything in the same space, so much of your normal organizational routines just go out the window. It's so unmanageable. So I set aside like 45-minute blocks of time throughout this new schedule just for cleaning. And I'm so excited about that. It's very intentional, and it doesn't have to be all like the same kind of cleaning. I try to write out all the explanations of things that qualify for each category to help remind me, especially on my more sluggish days. So it could be inventory organizing, it could be unboxing products like this, cleaning up parts of my desk. I always have so much stuff everywhere, and I get so overwhelmed, and it sort of just ends up staying that way because I've sort of accepted that that is the status of my office space. But I think I've gotten in a bit of a rut, and I want to get myself out of the thought process that everything is just gonna be chaotic all the time, because that's not true. So we're doing this in small chunks, and tomorrow is actually a lot of admin time and dedicated organization and packing time, which is perfect because I think that's exactly what I need. Also, I don't plan on spending too much time in my office. I just wanted to do the Sunday reset life audit, and then I'm gonna move on to other things like grocery shopping, which will be more of a normal Sunday for me and my boyfriend. It's also kind of a rainy day. I don't know how this happened, but I feel like our week looks like it skipped straight to fall. We had a lot of heat and sun like last week, and all of a sudden all the trees are losing their leaves and it's kind of gloomy. So it's been cooler. We did get some rain, I think. So I don't know if it's gonna get hot again because Georgia is really unpredictable like that, but I am very confused. I'm drawing all this stuff for Halloween and Summerween, and it looks like summer just decided, hey, we're gonna exit early. We know it's just August, but we're out. That's the vibe I'm getting. Also, if you guys are wondering, these are the Be Gentle With Yourself sticky notes that got reprinted, and they misprinted twice. It was very frustrating. They printed with these big white circles in the background, and I thought I was losing my mind because I was like, did I put that on the file? Like, did I somehow manage to draw a big ass circle? And then I looked at the proofs, I looked at the files, I went back and forth with the workers at the printing company, and they were like, yeah, you're right, we don't see that on your main file. So they reprinted it for me, but they also said that they're gonna send it to a secondary factory, which I'm really confused about. It's the first time I've ever heard about that. And it printed perfectly. They came with the cover sheets. Everything is so crisp and clean. They smell so good. So I'm actually gonna reach out to them to let them know that these printed really well. And I'm curious if it's possible for them to help me print with the secondary factory more often, because I've had some really bad luck with their prints this year. I guess it's not bad luck. It's like something's going on with the company. They are having so many print issues, and a lot of other businesses I follow use this company too, and they've been having the same issues. So it's not just me. Something's going on with them. Ta-da! If you guys didn't see the video about the big circle, this is what the grade B ended up looking like. It's still functional and it's up at a discounted price, so the difference is that it doesn't have this big circle. You can see the little bokeh ball, like speckles in the background better on this one, and the ink is a little cleaner. I have to figure out where to put all of these grade B sticky notes. They're just hanging out on a fold-out table because I don't have room on my shelves. I started working on the smaller boxes for my shelf once I get that set up, and Fluffy is sleeping right next to it. She loves putting her nose onto or like right next to an object. She decided to put her snoot in the box. What a cutie. She looks so goofy. Look at those little cow legs. To end this video, I'm going to do a little bit of organizing just by moving over one of the grade B notepads. I just cleared out one of my little cardboard organizers so that at least I can work on cutting down some of these piles that are sitting on my table, because that way I'll have more room when I'm working on packing, because I've been using this table to have some extra space to like line up my invoices and have a bigger packing station. So even if it's just one small task, I'm like, hey, just find something to clean for like 15 minutes. And imagine if you do that once a week and then maybe twice a week, and then things will just start to clean itself up. Okay, at least the pile is a little bit smaller. I just got one of my monthly stationery club rewards sent back to me from December. It is currently August in the next year, and I can't believe that this has just been floating around in the postal system for months. And I can't believe it somehow made it back. I actually have a big pile of rewards that are already packed that either got shipped back to me or I packed too many extras of them for that particular month. So I'm actually going to put these up as mystery discontinued stationery club rewards. So if you like a nice surprise, this is a good choice for you. I should have done it before and after, but this entire section of my desk used to not be visible 10 minutes ago. So I cleared all of that. And now I'm going to have a little relaxing coloring session. Let me know if any of these ideas were helpful or if you have any suggestions on ways to stay organized and accountable, especially against time theft. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you guys next time.